pruning the lavender and bloody flower and the flatness of it.
This is our row of Folgate, which is a culinary variety which I have just gone through and pruned. Beautiful. This is a good example of how we cut for distilling our oil. This is a Mayette. You can see all the stems are really tall. Some growers will cut that again afterwards in the fall, but usually when we're cutting, we're about to begin peaches and apples. And last year we had cherries into August and it was just too much fruit, so I never got back to it. So I am busy pruning now. These are my last 3 Mayette to prune, and then I get to get into my bigger plants. On this lavender, you can see we cut the stems pretty close to the plant itself. Or if we go over, you'll see some of these taller stems. Some still have buds from last year. It was just a strange bud development. But on others, you see all those stems sticking up way up high, particularly a little further down there. And the reason you see the difference in the stem height will depend upon how we cut it and what we're cutting it for. The shorter stems are the ones we are going to cut off and hang for drying bundles. Those bundles we will then usually take the buds off for either culinary buds or into our sachets. The ones with the taller stems, we cut higher up on the stem, so only the buds and only a little bit of stem goes into the still. That way you're distilling most of the lavender properties in the bud and not filling it full of stems, which then takes you a little bit longer to do. Good morning. Another beautiful day here in Colorado. We're still pruning. Keep at it. Thank you for bearing with us as we figure out how to do this with our wind that likes to blow over my microphone and our voice not being quite loud enough for when the camera's not right there. All right, we will figure this out. Hopefully you'll stick with us. I'm going to keep going. I am almost done with the culinary varieties. That will then just leave me those 2 ex intermedias, which are the really big bushy ones. So, back at it. All right, we are getting there on the pruning. I was 1 plant shy of having all the culinary varieties done. The big bushy plants that are left are the ex intermedias. That's the Bath and Body plant. I leave those for last because they come in after the angustifolias. So I try to prune the angustifolias where you can already see they're starting to turn green. But as my pruning is done by this little hedge trimmer, the battery only lasts about a half hour. So that's how much time I get to do my pruning. But these Mayettes that I did in the beginning, look how beautiful those are really coming out now. That's one reason we prune. It really sets them off to start growing nicely. All right, I'll show you one last picture when I'm all done. We're almost there. So after I prune, I come through and wipe them off. 2 reasons for this. One, to get those really long sticks that we had left out of the way for the new growth. Second is to clear out our ditches because we furrow irrigate, and all of that debris would plug up the ditches, and then water kind of ends up everywhere and not down the rows to water the plants. So I am cleaning off my plants. This also cleans out some of the dead that's in here. These plants are pretty old. These are 9-year-old plants that I've got. They're starting to get probably pretty close to the end of their life. These are some of the grossos. These are my first grossos I put in. So we will see what happens this summer. Right now, I see some green, I see some not green, so I'm not sure. Yeah, some of this actually looks dead. Doesn't look like it's just hibernating, but we'll see. Last day of pruning. We have finished cutting all the plants. Now we're cleaning up. You can see down this row there's a big wad of the stalks and the stems. We'll take those out, take them down to the burn pile. We're also getting ready for a new row, but in doing so we got dirt on the fabric, so we're having to clean that up a little bit as well. And then I'll go through with a final prune just to get what I missed. Sometimes it's hard to see when it's all long. And we are done pruning. Thanks for joining us.